Hi, I'm here at Vyve Wellness and I'm going to hop on the InBody to check out my body composition, so head with me. My favorite part about the InBody is the in-depth analysis that you get after you're done. At home, I can check the scale, but that really doesn't tell the whole story. So I love checking out my skeletal muscle mass and my body fat mass. InBody is one of my favorite things to do when I come to Vyve Wellness. Welcome to episode 19 of the MAZUR Program. We get you booking so that you can focus on sales. My name is Jennifer and this is James. Today we are talking all about InBody. Last week we mentioned there'd be a brand new ad series focusing on InBody combined with other services that do require that body composition analysis. But first, James, let's talk about our own experience with InBody.
Yeah, I guess we were introduced to InBody maybe about 18 months ago. We've both been on our own wellness journey, reducing body fat, increasing muscle mass, and just becoming healthier people. And InBody has become, it's like, it is the piece of equipment that we run to when we go to Vyve Wellness in Charlotte, North Carolina quarterly. Meaning that I've got my InBody sheet right here. So we do a lot of different services at Vyve, and no matter what service we're using for our own health and wellness, it all comes down to these quarterly numbers. It's keeping us on track. It's making us, and it'll actually it determines what we are doing in the next quarter to see how we can increase these numbers. I mean, I'm taking a look. I mean, I'll brag. My body fat percentage is at 13.7. I'm very excited about that, but I'm trying to get it down to 12. So how do I do that? Well, we'll leave that up to Dr. Will Haas at Vyve Wellness, how I'm going to do that. But I'm being held accountable by my InBody scan.
Yeah, and I think that you kind of mentioned it determines what we're going to do for the next 3 months for our health and wellness, right?
Yeah.
Without that, I mean, you don't know where you're at. And so this is why these new ads are so important, right? Yeah. How do you keep somebody motivated to want to continue on with services if they don't have that baseline and have goals of where they want to go? I mean, I love when I go on the InBody. It gets me excited. You know, like you said, it's the first thing we run to, literally almost.
Literally.
It's like, can we get on the InBody and find out what our body comp is?
I even cheated. I was filming in Houston and I saw they had an InBody out in another room and I'm like, hey guys, you mind if I jump on your InBody? They're like, yeah, sure.
Right? And you came home and told me, and I was like, oh, I'm jealous. You got to go on InBody.
You got to go on the InBody.
But even just when we were in North Carolina and I hopped on the InBody, it actually adjusted my wellness plan from where we thought we were going to go into a different direction just by the numbers. So, I mean, that is why we incorporate it in this ad set, right?
Exactly. And it's relying on the accuracy of InBody to give you those results so you can then base your next quarterly wellness goals on. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. All right, James. So what's next?
Okay, so I had a chance to interview the expert, Mr. Bradly Davie from InBody, who is a medical and academic manager. Let's take a look. And we are here with Bradly from InBody. Bradly, thanks for coming in. I'm super happy to have you on.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. So listen, I've got a great question for you. Why should every med spa have an InBody?
InBody is one of the best products on the market for doing a few things. Number one, engaging their patients and getting some objective measurements for them, and then educating them on all kinds of different topics of weight and muscle and water, things like cellular health and integrity, and then using it over time to empower people to be able to track their changes and validate the programs that they're offering. And, it gives a great way to be able to start to show the progress that we're seeing in all kinds of different modalities of therapy.
I love it. I love it. I mean, Jennifer and I are both huge InBody fans. And as we've said before, and we'll say again, it is the very first piece of equipment that we run to every time we go to do our quarterly checkup of where we've got, all the work you put in for 3 months, where are you at in that next step? So it's a pretty big deal. And for anyone who's on a body transformation, weight loss, muscle gain type of journey, it becomes a critical piece of the puzzle. I really, really enjoy it. Hats off to InBody for making such a great product. Now,
Thank you. Our pleasure.
My question is this. I'm a data guy. I do a lot of research on a lot of different devices. I see it all and I hear it all. And what my research that I've done on InBody is that it is pretty true accuracy of what I'm seeing in my results and the data on screen. Now, what I've read on those fancy competitors with the 3D body scans, with the 3D images of the person, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe shed a little bit of light on it, but from what I can see, there's a lot of statistical interpolation and extrapolation going on. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we like to think about it more like, we're not comparing apples to apples when we're thinking about an InBody compared to any other type of 3D scanners, but more like apples to oranges. A lot of people like to see the images that they provide in terms of the changes, say, in the circumference, but what we're doing is we're getting a direct internal measurement using a bioelectric impedance technology. So we're able to see how much lean mass there is, how much fat mass, break that down into water, inside, outside the cells, muscle. We even show it in terms of how much visceral fat is in and around the organs. And our claim to fame is going to be that we're not using any estimations based upon assumptions. And the 3D scanners are taking a circumference measurement from a picture on the outside, and then they're trying to guess at what's going on the inside. So they have to use a lot of other things like your age or your gender or your activity level or ethnicity, and to get closer to what's going on the inside without a direct measurement. And then on top of that, they typically require you to be in skin-tight clothing, and clothing can show a little bit of a difference in terms of the circumference if you're wearing it.
Yes.
You probably need a separate room for it to be able to show, have somebody be comfortable to do the assessment.
Yes.
And,
yep.
What we get from the circumference over time also is not going to show us the exact changes that we might see, say, if we're doing a GLP-1 with weight loss or hormone replacement therapies. Let's say the change is more in the body's water. We're not going to be able to see those specific changes and things like that over time as well. So we want to be able to get a medical grade analysis, and InBody is going to be the best one to choose.
I like it. And I always think along the lines of, as I'm producing an ad, as MAZUR Program is running ads, I'm always thinking what devices work best together. And of course, for me, we've just released, just this week, we're releasing our new Emsculpt Neo that is FDA approved to regenerate muscle. And what they're doing is they're saying, listen, if you're on a GLP-1 and you're losing muscle mass while you lose fat, now you can use Emsculpt to regain some of that muscle mass. And the very first thing that came to mind for me is then to include InBody in that ad, because without an InBody, how would you know about the difference in changing in muscle mass and fat?
Exactly. I mean, you hit it right on the head there. I think being able to track that change over time gives the patient's trust in that the things that we're doing are actually working. And maybe if things aren't working, we can then make some pivots and changes over time to improve our care. And then if we're doing really good things and there is great progress, we can turn around and we can use that in our marketing again and advertisements and make certain claims that will help us grow our business from there too.
I like it. One more quick question. What's your outlook on the med spa industry as we are now heading into 2025?
It's a massively growing industry for us, and I think there's a lot of places where med spas can support patients in new ways, especially with like rising insurance costs and the access to care. Med spas are starting to, like you're seeing, stack these different modalities and start to be a place where people can go to get a lot of the things that they need in their healthcare journey. And we just see that continuing to grow, and seeing med spas show up in a lot of new ways where we cover the whole continuum of care, from people that are sick and need help all the way to people that are elite and want to continue to perform well. And we're starting to see med spas adopt a lot of these different modalities into their care, where they're able to continue to string along a journey for a patient to continue to, get help in different ways and care.
Excellent. I couldn't agree more. I think med spas are on a huge trajectory going upwards, and each year on year, I'm expecting InBody is going to see those results at the end of the year as well. So, congrats on a great product. Thanks again for joining us on MAZUR Program. I'm super excited to head out to LA and go a little south and visit the HQ. And when we do, we're going to film it. We'll definitely put it on the show. And again, thank you so much for your time today. Very appreciated.
Thank you, James.
Awesome. My pleasure.
All right, so let's talk about the ad set. What services are you combining with the InBody? And are they all related to weight loss, right?
Yeah, weight loss or body composition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So either weight loss or muscle gain, or, as we both know, the combination of weight loss and muscle gain. So let's take a look at some of the offerings we have now. Let's take a look at Emsculpt. Emsculpt Neo has the RF capability of weight loss plus the ability to increase muscle mass. So Emsculpt is the perfect in-body match. Then we've got both Emerald Laser and Zerona Laser for laser body contouring. That is fantastic. We've also got general weight loss programs, which include and can include and may not include GLP-1 weight loss, medical weight loss. How can you possibly start a weight loss program without knowing an accurate body composition?
Right. So super important that you do offer this InBody combined with multiple services. These are available in just under a week, November, in the MAZUR program.
Yeah.
And so if you are a member, they'll be available to you. If you are not a member, it's time to jump onto MAZURprogram.com, book a demo with James, and become a member of the MAZUR program to get access to all these amazing ads.
Yes.
Good. Anything else?
No, I think we're done. I think one more point is that offering in-body body composition as a combination within your ads, as these ads are shown, has tremendous value. Never forget, someone has to know where they started before they can even identify where they've gone.
Great point, James. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and join us on next Sunday.
And we'll see you next Sunday.